Question: Can you advise the youth about companionship? There is no doubt that companionship is one of the affairs, brothers and sisters, that we have seen destroy individuals. It is one of the most elementary aspects of your life that you must ensure that you get it right. For indeed, it is by way of companionship that people are guided, and it is by way of companionship individuals are destroyed. It is by way of good companionship that people remain steadfast and are saved from the punishment of Allah. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jalla has informed us of those who were destroyed in the past, that Allah Azza wa Jalla saved a group of individuals, الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ, that Allah Azza wa Jalla saved those who prohibited evil, and those who had companions that were upon good, and that they themselves, as a group of individuals, they enjoined the good and forbade the evil. And Allah Azza wa Jalla informs us of how individuals, and we have numerous examples in the Sunnah of how individuals are destroyed on the basis of bad companionship. Look at the affair, ikhwan, of Abu Talib. Abu Talib, the uncle of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was one that recognized that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was upon the haqq, and he defended him, and he aided him upon the conveying of his da'wah, and he prevented him from the harm that would come to him from his people, Abu Talib. Yet he died upon a deen other than the deen of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned concerning him, وَهُمْ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنْهُ وَيَنْأَوْنَ عَنْهُ, that they prohibit people from him, yet they themselves refrain from him. And that the scholars of tafsir mentioned was an ayah that was in reference to Abu Talib. That Abu Talib was one that refrained from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even though he himself prevented and protected him from others. At the time of his death, when he was at his deathbed, he had the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam beside him, saying, "Ya ammi, qul la ilaha illallah, kalima uhajja laka biha indallah." Say la ilaha illallah, a word which if you say it, then I will argue in your case in front of Allah. And then beside him were the mushrikun of Quraysh, the pagans of Quraysh, who were saying, أَتَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ عَبْدِ الْمُطَّلِبِ أَتَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ عَبْدِ الْمُطَّلِبِ. Are you going to abandon the religion of Abdul Muttalib, yani the religion of shirk and of idol worship? And so the last thing that was said concerning him was that he died upon the deen, upon the millah of Abdul Muttalib. Even though there were lines of poetry from him praising the Messenger ﷺ and establishing the fact that he knew it was the deen, the true deen. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُ بِأَنَّ دِينَ مُحَمَّدٍ خَيْرُ أَدْيَانٍ بَرِيَّةِ دِينًا لَوْلَا الْمَلَامَةُ أَوْ حَذَارُ مُسَبَّةٍ لَوَجَدْتَنِي سَمْحًا بِذَاكَ مُبِينًا. That indeed I know that the deen of Muhammad is the best deen for mankind. If it were not for the fact that I would be dispraised or cursed, then you would find me making that manifest publicly. And so even though he knew that the way of Muhammad and the deen of Muhammad was the true deen, he knew that was clear. Yet, at his deathbed, because of those bad companions, because of those bad individuals, we found, ikhwan, that he died upon the last thing that was said was that he died upon the deen and the way of Abdul Muttalib. And so, ikhwan, there is no doubt that noble companions raise the station of an individual. Look at the kalb of the Ashab al-Kahf. The kalb of the companions of the cave had his mention raised. وَكَلْبُهُمْ بَاسِطٌ ذِرَاعَيْهِ بِالْوَسِيطِ. That Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned even their kalb. Something recited until Yawm al-Qiyamah. The kalb was raised because of good companionship. And that then, ikhwan, is indicative and shows that without doubt, as our scholars mentioned, and that is the statement of Ahlul Ilm, that if a dog can be raised because of good companionship, then it goes without doubt, ikhwan, that human beings, individuals upon Iman, that they, ikhwan, by way of good companionship, their station without doubt may be raised. And ikhwan, It is something that is observed. The one who is close to our ulama, close to Ahlul Ilm, makes mulazama of them and clings to them, then ikhwan, their station is raised on its basis. Their station is raised on its basis. And during our years in Medina, ikhwan, we see and we saw how that occurs. That an individual is raised because of nearness to the ulama and him being known to be close to Ahlul Ilm. In fact, Allah Azza wa Jal raises them to be their vicegerents, raises them, ikhwan, to be the khulafa of Ahlul Ilm because of their nearness. And you'll find that there is no alim in our time except that he was once near and close and made mulazama of those who are ulama. And Allah Azza wa Jal raised them to become ulama. Just as from the prophets and the messengers, there were those who were not prophets and messengers. But because of their nearness to prophets and messengers, Allah Azza wa Jal made them prophets and messengers. The likes of Yusha, the likes of Joshua. Joshua, ikhwan, was the boy that used to serve Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. He was during the affair or the story of Musa and Khadir, as occurs in Sahih Muslim. Yusha was the boy that went with him, as occurs in Surah Kahf. That the boy that went with Musa, who had the fish, carried the fish, and that Musa said to him, "Atina ghada'ana, laqad laqina min safarina hadha nasaba." That boy that was with him was Yusha. When he grew, and after the death of Musa, Joshua went on to become a prophet. Allah made him a prophet from the Anbiya of Bani Israel. And so good companionship, ikhwan, is without doubt of the essence for all of our youth. And we have seen how bad companionship, one bad companion, can destroy and spoil a good shab. Take him away from the masjid, bring him, ikhwan, and turn him out on the street. And make him be a follower of gangs and follower of foolishness. And in some occasions and in some instances, have him or cause him to be one that consumes and takes intoxicants, one that is riddled with various types of evil, and one that, ikhwan, and we've seen examples of it, one that because of his companionship may even lose his life. And we've seen that occur. So the affair of companionship, ikhwan, is of the essence. For indeed the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi, falyanzur ahadukum ila man yukhalil." A man is upon the religion of his khalil, upon the religion of his friend. So let one of you look towards who he takes as a companion. عن المرء لا تسأل وسل عن قرينه. Do not ask about a man, rather ask about his friend. For indeed, as the poet he mentioned, indeed every individual follows the way and the path of his friend, the path of his companion. Every individual follows the way of his companion. And that is something, even if he hides it, even if he hides his companionship, it is going to become manifest. As the Salaf used to say, a man may hide his companionship. Man khafiya, or his bid'ah. Man khafiyat alayna bid'atuhu, lam takhfa alayna ulfatuhu. The one whose innovation is hidden from us, then his companionship is not hidden from us. And after a period, it will become manifest. The effect of his companionship will become manifest in his statements, in his actions, in his mawaqif, in his positions. 9 times out of 10 it is his companionship. Those who have bitanat su, who have bad companions, they are affected by that companionship to the extent that that which is present within them because of their bad companions, it becomes apparent at some time. As occurs in those lines of poetry, سَتُبْدِي لَكَ الْأَيَّامُ مَا كُنْتَ جَاهِلًا وَيَأْتِيكَ بِالْأَخْبَارِ مَنْ لَمْ تُزَوِّدِي وَمَهْمَا تَكُنْ لِامْرِئٍ مِّنْ خَلِيقَةٍ وَإِنْ خَالَهَا تَخْفَى عَلَى النَّاسِ تُعْلَمِي. That indeed the ayyam, the days, shall make apparent. سَتُبْدِي لَكَ الْأَيَّامَ مَا كُنْتَ جَاهِلًا. The days shall make apparent to you that which you were ignorant of. وَيَأْتِيكَ بِالْأَخْبَارِ مَنْ لَمْ تُزَوِّدِي. And news shall come to you from one who you do not tuzawwidi. You don't give him sustenance to go on the journey and bring the news back. Because in the olden days, if one wanted news, we didn't have Reuters and newspaper and internet and other than that, email. Ikhwan, you had to send a man with provisions, and he had to take a month journey with the provisions that you've given him to go and get news and bring it back. Find out what's happening. And so the poet he mentions, "Satubdi laka al-ayyam ma kunta jahila." The days shall make clear to you those things that you were ignorant of. وَيَأْتِيكَ بِالْأَخْبَارِ مَنْ لَمْ تُزَوِّدِ. And news shall come to you by way of an individual who you didn't give provisions to go and look for it. وَمَهْمَا تَكُنْ لِمْرِئٍ مِنْ خَلِيقَةٍ وَإِنْ خَالَهَا تَخْفَى عَلَى النَّاسِ تُعْلَمِ. He mentioned that whatever a person has from characteristic, even if he hides it from the people, indeed you shall know. It will come out, it will make itself manifest. And we see that, ikhwan, over the years and over the decades, we've seen that manifest. And that without doubt, ikhwan, is indicated by the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, as it relates, ikhwan, to those who have ill will and those who have hidden evil, hidden shar. Allah Azza wa Jal informs us of the affair of those who have those ill wills. But Allah Azza wa Jal mentions concerning them that indeed, if we will, we would have made their أم حسب الذين في قلوبهم مرض, as Allah mentioned, ألن يخرج الله أضغانهم, as occurs in Surah Muhammad. ولو نشاء لأريناكهم ولعرفتهم بسيماهم ولتعرفنهم في لحن القول. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions, do those who have in their hearts, أم حسب الذين في قلوبهم مرض, those who have sicknesses in their hearts, do they believe that Allah Azza wa Jal will not bring forward their ill wills, their bad intent? وَلَوْ نَشَاءُ لَأَرَيْنَاكَهُمْ وَلَعَرَفْتَهُمْ بِسِيمَاهُمْ. If we willed, we would have shown you them, and you would have known them from their signs. وَلَتَعْرِفَنَّهُمْ فِي لَحْنِ الْقَوْلِ. But you shall certainly know them from the evil or the tones in their speech. There are certain statements that they'll make that will indicate to you that which they have in their heart. And as we mentioned, ikhwan, 9 times out of 10, those who have those ill wills and those who take those positions, and the majority of the people of innovation that we see and that have made themselves manifest and that their affair has become clear, 9 times out of 10, that which has destroyed them is bad companionship. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant our feet firm, to place us, ikhwan, upon the sunnah, to bless us with good companions, to make us, as we mentioned, ikhwan, from that ta'if al-mansura and najiyah, those who remain upon the amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hatta qiyam as-sa'ah, till Allah Azza wa Jalla establishes the hour. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يوفقنا وإياكم لما يحبه ويرضاه وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.